on that one.
Is Steve coming?
No, he's zooming.
Would you just give up in the end?
No, we were starting, so I just threw it over to you guys, get him signed. Well, let's watch Yellowstone.
Are we on now?
We're live, yes.
I'll give you the first page.
It's 7:01.
7:01.
Okay, you have time.
Okay.
Did he find that one?
I told
No,
Chris.
it's not on at all.
Good evening. I'd like to call a meeting to order. 7:02, 7:01. Moved by Councillor McGinnis, seconded by Councillor Clark, that this meeting be open at 7:01 PM. All in favor? Carried. Steve is not going to be. on
He's trying to
Zoom.
zoom in. He's trying.
Okay. Next, we have the adoption of the agenda. Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor McGinnis, that the agenda presented to council and dated the 10th day of December 2024 be adopted as presented. All in favor? Carried. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof? Hearing none, we'll move forward.
Can we just pause for a second?
Next, we have the
Just one
adoption.
sec.
There, just 1 sec.
I'm just gonna.
We're trying to get Steve hooked in.
Oh, okay.
There's the rest of them that can go underneath this.
In order.
We shuffled. We
Did
shuffled.
you
them for you.
manage to mix them up?
Well, we shuffled them just to keep your life interesting.
Did you write on that?
No.
Maybe I did.
We're just getting a code for Steve to log in.
You could probably continue.
Nikki said you could continue.
Going up?
You can keep reading the motions.
Okay.
I'm still here, so I'm still.
Next, we have the adoption of previous minutes. Moved by Councillor McGinnis, second by Councillor Clark, that the minutes of the regular meeting of November 19, 2024, a special council meeting of December 2nd, 2024, be adopted as circulated. All in favor? Carried. Any presentations and delegations? Next, we have the staff reports. Report from Acting Deputy Fire Chief regarding department's paging system and software.
Okay, do you want me to read through the whole thing or just, okay. Just bear with me, guys, this is the first time I've gone
Yeah,
through
appreciate it, for
one
sure.
of these, so, if you see anything, stop me, please. So the recommendation that council, that the council of the Township of Bonfield receives this report, further that the township move to the fire queue as our fire department in-house paging system. So a little bit of background is we have the renewal of our contract with Who's Responding, which is currently our in-house paging system that all of our firefighters use on their phones, is set for January 1st. So this has prompted us to look at other avenues to try and include a equipment and data management system Exploring the options from different resource management solutions was one way to go. So basically we keep the Who's Responding app, but then we have a data management system on the side. So two individual systems such as PS Tracks, APX Data, or two of them, which would in turn create two standalone systems, and prices we had found were doubling our yearly subscription fees. So we looked at a couple other options, one of them being FireQ, one of them being I'm Responding. They were incorporating these asset management systems into our paging system. So when we got looking at them, FireQ, so the analysis FireQ, we did trial it for 2 months and the response was very positive within the department. It was easy to use. FireQ includes paging, reporting, report tracking, individual member training certificates, member training hours, member participation records, training records, inspection reports, pre-plans, truck maintenance records with uploadable sections. So any written out reports can be attached directly to that record that's made. Real-time mapping for our responders, which can be used on a scene as well, so that we can see where everybody is if they've still got their phone on. Where are we? Event and extracurricular tracking as well. All this is accessible from not only our internal system, but anybody that is given permissions outside to be able to look in and see what we're doing. All this data is stored in one location and it's all exportable to PDF and email friendly versions. Right from our incident and training reports all the way down to truck inspections. I'm Responding has a lot of the same features. However, the big difference between I'm Responding and FireQ is the fact of the Google Drive basis. So I'm Responding was a lot of Google-based Google Drive exported items, as opposed to all in one nice area. Currently, we're working with Who's Responding. The system has worked good for us so far, but we need to expand, we need to grow, we need to incorporate other things into the one app, and Who's Responding was simply a responder app to see who's responding and give our guys the page notifications. So looking at prices, I compared Who's Responding to FireQ. Who's Responding were approximately $1,017 a year for 25 members. That's a yearly subscription. FireQ, we're at $1,327 for a yearly subscription, and we're allowed up to 30 responding staff members. In review of Who's Responding, FireQ, I'm Responding, the three apps are very similar when it comes to paging out incidents. However, FireQ is far superior to the other two with its built-in reporting, equipment management, training aids. Recommendation, it is recommended to switch to FireQ. This will provide the fire department with additional resources that are needed when it comes to record keeping and equipment management, which can be easily accessed and reviewed.
Okay, thank you, Josh. Do you have any questions of John?
Just one, if I could, your worship. Just want to, I'm sure, but I want to ensure that your intention is to use FireQ to its full extent. So you mentioned tracking maintenance of vehicles, all the way through to community engagements, all of that. So you'd be using FireQ features to ensure that all of that is recorded?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
So each piece of apparatus, each piece of handheld equipment that we have can be inputted into the system. It's tracked from its purchase price to its life expectancy. Every time you go in and make a new equipment check, it documents that. With the trucks, our fleet manager, he can have access to that as well. If the truck goes in for an oil change, it can be put in from his end that oil change was done these are the issues we found, these are the issues that were corrected, and it's all kept in one area. Same with community events. There's a community events section where that's just put in for that, and you select your guys that were there, and it all tracks the amount of community hours that were put in with them as well.
Super useful data. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
Next, we have a motion moved by Councillor Corbett, seconded by Councillor McGuinness, that council for the township of Bonfield receives this report, and further that the township move to the fire queue as the fire department paging and response system. All in favor? Carried. Next, we have another report from.
Very well done.
Yes.
Yeah, you did well.
Thank you.
Sorry, I just wanted to say you did it was his first time, so I wanted to make sure that you knew he did a great job.
I wasn't gonna say it until the next
Oh,
one.
okay, sorry.
Okay, we have a second report from our acting deputy fire chief regarding appointment of the fire prevention officer.
Again, recommendation that council for the township of Bonfield receives this report, and further that a bylaw be adopted for the appointment of the fire prevention officer. So a little bit of background: on November 15th of this year, our fire prevention officer resigned from his role, leaving a role to be filled within the department. The fire prevention officer position was posted in both Fire Station 1 and 2 from Monday, November 17th until November 24th. Within this period, we had only one application received. I can use his name. Okay. And that was Matthew Stroud. So within the analysis, interviewing the application, his training background, attendance records for training and community events were all considered in this. A review of his records indicated he has the drive to continually better his education, help the community, and take on a bigger role within the department and the community. Recommendation is, therefore, it is recommended that Matthew Stroud be awarded the position of fire prevention officer.
Thank you. We have a motion for that. Moved by Councillor McGuinness, second by Councillor Clark, that the council for the township of Bonfield receives this report, and further that a bylaw be adopted for the appointment of the fire prevention officer. All in favor? Carried. Now I'll say thank you very much, Joe.
Congratulations.
And good
Matt.
job.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Okay, next we have adoption of the committee minutes and motion. So we have the Corporate Services Committee and the meeting of November 28th, 2024, and we have 7 motions for this. Moved by Councillor Corbett, second by Councillor McGuinness. Whereas the Corporate Services Committee recommends to council to adopt the tax policy to become effective January 1, 2025. Be it hereby resolved that council accepts this recommendation. All in favor? Carried. Next, we have moved by Councillor Clark, second by Councillor Corbett. Whereas the Corporate Services Committee recommends to council to use the $50,000 earmark for reserve in the 2024 budget, along with $8,085.25 from the existing fire department reserve account to pay off the 2009 loan for pumper truck 5 in the amount of $58,085.25. Be it hereby resolved that council accepts this recommendation. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor McGuinness, seconded by Councillor Clark. Whereas the Corporate Services Committee recommends to council that the staff report regarding the quote to assess damages from a prior water event at the Public Workshop be received. And whereas the committee recommends to council to proceed with the investigation through Pinchin in the amount of $2,903 and proceed with any necessary remedial work, be it hereby resolved that council accepts this recommendation. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Counselor Corbett, second by Counselor McGinnis. Whereas the Corporate Services Committee recommends to council to receive the 2024 OSIM Bridge Report as prepared, be it hereby resolved that council accepts this recommendation. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Counselor McGinnis, second by Counselor Clark. Whereas the Corporate Services Committee recommends to council to receive the 2023 roads needs study as prepared, be it hereby resolved that council accepts this recommendation. All in favor? Carried. Next, we have moved by Counselor Corbett, second by Counselor McGinnis. Whereas the Corporate Services Committee recommends to council to proceed with the Englobe geotechnical study for Trunk Road Bridge with a total cost of $13,800. Be it hereby resolved that council accepts this recommendation. All in favor? Carried. Next, we have the planning. Oh. We have the Emergency Services Committee, no motions. And then we have the Planning Advisory Committee, December 3rd, 2024, and we have one motion. Do you have any comments?
Before you read your motion, I can provide an update to council. The Planning Advisory Committee has completed its work and will be sending a draft housekeeping bylaw forward to council as requested by council. So would like to thank the Planning Advisory Committee for a lot of hard work, a lot of extra hours, a lot of reading, and extra meetings to make sure that we can get this in front of council to with council's discretion or passing a first and second reading, we can likely be on track to get it to be part of the town hall meeting for discussion and consultation. So again, timing was tight, and I appreciate all of the Planning Advisory Committee's extra work to get it done. So
thank you. So we're not,
go ahead.
when are we doing this?
Next week.
Like,
As council, potentially. That's up to you, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Well, I thought this was our last meeting.
Yeah.
You missed this one.
That motion.
Hmm. Oh, okay, I did skip one. Okay, I'll do the planning first. Moved by Councillor Corbett, seconded by Councillor McGinnis. Whereas the Planning Advisory Committee recommends to council that consent application V6 2024 Andre concession 11 north part of lot 17 parcel 3774 be approved. Be it hereby resolved that council approves this recommendation along with the conditions and notes as set out on the attached decision of approval authority form. All in favor? Carried. And now I always manage to skip one. Moved by Councillor McGinnis, second by Councillor Clark. Whereas the Corporate Services Committee recommends to council to transfer the unspent funds for the municipal office septic project in the amount of $30,000 to reserve to be used in 2025. Be it hereby resolved that council accepts this recommendation. I have a question about that. You say the property has to be merged. Is that not a simple consolidation with the parcels?
Yes. I believe so. I've asked a law firm to look after that. To do that, yes.
So that's all we have to do so that then you can put the septic system in?
Part of it. So they won't review the application until the lots are merged. In merging the lots, there's a former lease that we have with the North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority that requires us to get a letter of approval from them to merge the documents. So we're still waiting for them to give us that letter to merge the properties together.
Yeah, because it's to consolidate, it's a simple
Yeah.
transaction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the legal firm is looking after that.
Okay. So all in favor? Carried. Next, we have the Recreation Committee, December 2nd, 2024. I'll read the motion and then I'm going to ask a question. Moved by Councillor McGinnis, second by Councillor Corbett, whereas the Recreation and Fitness Committee recommends to council that the $3,653.09 allocated for the 2024 Labor Day fireworks display be placed in a reserve account for the use of 2025 Labor Day event, in addition to the 2025 fireworks budget. Be it hereby resolved that council accepts this recommendation. I have a question for the Recreation Committee. If they would consider not only having fireworks at Labor Day, I would like to see fireworks for Canada Day. Is that something that the Recreation Committee could consider?
Excuse me, sorry. We could, we have, for the past few years, tried to make Canada Day a little bit shorter. We felt that the event was way too long. It was way too much strain on the lack of volunteers that we have, but the ones that were there. So we were trying to make it midday and a little bit tighter for time, so that families, especially with young kids, could come out, enjoy the entire event, and still have time to go home and relax for dinner like they used to here, and get somewhere else where they would have fireworks that day. We also came into 2 seasons in a row, 2 years in a row, where there was fire bans on during Canada Day. Just always happens to be kind of the hottest, driest areas of the season. So moving them, the first time that we moved it was actually because of the fire ban. So we've been trying to make our events a little bit shorter and tighter for time frames, so that everybody can kind of enjoy it and it's not so long and dragged out. But obviously everything's on the table. We could bring it back to the committee.
Thank you. It's just that it seems all around us they do Canada Day celebrations and they have the fireworks, and Canada Day to me is more important than Labor Day, but that's just me, and it's only a comment.
Yeah,
Anybody
so
else got anything to say?
I love fireworks.
Anytime.
Just a general statement, yeah.
I like fireworks.
Councillor Featherstone brings up a valid point. It's just hard getting volunteers. I mean, it's a long day when we have to do fireworks and then volunteers but I mean, we'll bring it back and definitely talk about it.
Okay, well, that's a start.
Yeah. So, if your worship, if I could. So far be it for me to be an armchair person on the, I'm not on the committee for the recreation, nor do I want to be. But I think there's been some good points by Councillor Featherstone and yourself, your worship. I think we could do a better job at making sure that our events are condensed, that we're not having those lag times in between, that we're able to make sure that we're keeping, when we get a crowd, we can keep a crowd until the event's done, and then they can move on. So it might be easier for volunteers to really have that smaller condensed time as well, to be able to concentrate and say, yeah, I can be there for 3 hours, but if you're going to make me stay for 6, all of a sudden I can't do it, right? So
The Labor Day fireworks were spectacular. And by not having it on the July 1st, because like you say, everybody does it on July 1st. So here's an opportunity for you to go someplace on July 1st, like another township where they have really great fireworks. And then on ours, Labor Day, people will come here because we have fireworks.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thinking that I thought was what.
That's all good points, but to me, Canada Day is the day to celebrate. That's just my feeling.
And I will say, Birdie had a really good idea.
Nope.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was a great idea in a conversation. She said, if we're looking to condense, instead of it being the mayor's hot dog lunch, maybe it's the mayor's hot dog dinner, followed by a little bit of entertainment, followed by fireworks.
That's
right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
instead of it again turning into a 7 or 10 hour day, it's really starting it later
Later in the day.
Mhm.
and have it all.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a better way to approach
Yeah.
it.
again, far be it for me to make recommendations, because I don't want to be.
Oh, no, you should sit
No,
on,
no,
you
no,
should
no,
sit
no,
on the
no.
committee.
No, 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 no. Thank you,
That's
but
the
no,
only
thank
way
you.
you find out what we think if we say something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
All right, all in favor of this? Carried. Okay. Police Services Board, no minutes for this session, but I have received emails. We do have individuals have applied for the public appointees, and what they're trying to do is organize a meeting so that we can get it in for our next council meeting, I believe. And then that'll give them time enough to do that long test and to move forward on it. So Carrie's going to get back to me and let me know when we'll have a meeting, because I believe council will know who the people are that are applying for the position as well. So there'll be input from council for the appointees. Okay.
Worship. Before you move on, I'm just wondering, under the Emergency Services Committee, there is actually a very good report on some of the great work that's being done and some of the training that's happening. I wonder if would you be open to the idea of having someone present some of that, just to talk about the great work that's happening?
Sure.
I'm not sure who I'm putting on the spot, if it's the
I'll wait.
chair.
I'll wait for a volunteer.
Yeah, or if it's the
Actually, our
That's the chief.
Our acting deputy fire chief.
You don't have to read, you don't have to read the whole thing, but I think it's
Or the other one that's in here.
the
Fire reports.
the fire
No, this
report, yeah.
one is the one I gave you. This one on here says from the 18th meeting.
Yeah, you can read this one.
Yes.
Okay. So recommendation that the Fire Department Committee of Township of Bonfield receives this report for information purposes. So we're just highlighting, this report highlights the activities of the volunteer fire department from the 15th to December 4th. We're just looking to keep the committee and the community informed on what's happening. So operationally, we are 18 members strong. In the past month, we've responded to, I guess, half a month, responded to 2 calls for service, putting us up to 58 calls this year. Our regular weekly training, we've done some EMS and medical call procedures and equipment refreshers, in-house, of course. PPE checks are weekly, they're ongoing. Make sure our SCBA checks are complete. All of our guys' personal protective gear, bunker gear is checked and ready for service. Again, ongoing is hall cleaning, make sure everything's nice and clean, the floors are clean, the trucks are washed and kept clean. Special training, we had, I know it says here, 3 officers take the Resilient Minds. We had 1 that couldn't make it last weekend, so we had 2 of our officers take the Resilient Minds online mental health training. Updates, some repairs are happening this week at Station 2 to clean up some outstanding items. Our policies, procedures, and standard operating procedures are under review and will continue to be until we start to wrap those up. Fire prevention, we've kind of slowed down a bit from the previous month, which saw us do a lot of the community, but now we've kind of slowed it down until the new year, just on calls. And if we get any calls for inspections, we'll go out and do them, but it's just ongoing on a call for call basis. And we're looking at putting together a fire prevention plan 2025 calendar of events for next year.
Okay.
And I see here that the month before you did 55 smoke alarm program education nights for 55 homes.
Yes.
That's incredible. Yeah, great work. That's really well done. That's, yeah. Oh, sorry.
again, just reiterating, and we've said this before, all of council have said this, the fire department is busy. A lot of people, think that they train one night a week and then they do calls. It's a lot more than one night a week. It's a lot of paperwork and administrative details and getting everything kind of caught up and assessed. They're putting in time and effort over there for sure. It's a lot of work.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
And just in this one report, yep, it said a private event. And well, I guess it's in the minutes of the one work night and a private event.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of wondering what, can we elaborate on that a little bit?
Where are we at on that?
It's just in, I think it's a committee, November 18th.
It's on the
That
second
would've
page.
been- okay.
Yeah, it's in the minutes.
Oh, yes.
Regular weekly training, and then it says a private event.
Yep. So the private event was to recognize some of the recent promotions within the fire department. This was put on by our association and our firefighters auxiliary.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks.
thank you, Josh. Next, we have resolutions to be considered for adoption. Moved by Councillor Corbett, seconded by Councillor Clark, that the Council for the Township of Bonfield requests the Government of Ontario to take action to implement the Rural Road Safety Program that Good Roads has committed to lead, which will allow Ontario's rural municipalities to make the critical investments needed to reduce the high number of people being killed and seriously injured on Ontario rural roads. And that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the Premier of Ontario, the Minister of Transportation, the Minister of Infrastructure, the Minister of Agriculture, the Minister of Rural Affairs, the Associate Minister of Emergency Preparedness and Response, the Minister of Health and Good Roads. All in favor? Carried. Here's another one. It's moved by, it was sent to us by the Township of Larder Lake. Moved by Councillor McGuinness, seconded by Councillor Corbett, that Council for the Township of Bonfield supports the Township of Larder Lake in requesting the federal and provincial governments to redistribute to municipalities a portion of the provincial land transfer tax and GST collected on property sales, and that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Premier Doug Ford, the Ontario Minister of Finance, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, our local MP and MPP, AMO and FCM. All in favor? Carried. Next, we have moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Corbett, that Council for the Township of Bonfield hereby adopts bylaw number 2024-65, being a bylaw to rescind bylaws 2015-01, 2024-11, and 2024-55 as presented and is considered read 3 times and passed this 10th day of December 2024. All in favor? Carried. Next, we have moved by Councillor Corbett, seconded by Councillor Clark. The Council for the Township of Bonfield hereby adopts bylaw 2024-66, being a bylaw to adopt a tax policy as presented and is considered read 3 times and passed this 10th day of December 2024. All in favor? Carried. Okay, next we have, to appoint a bylaw enforcement peace officer. Moved by Councillor McGinnis, second by Councillor Clark. The council for the township of Bonfield hereby adopts bylaw number 2024-67 to appoint a bylaw enforcement peace officer for the township of Bonfield as presented and is considered read 3 times and passed this 10th day of December 2024. I have a question. This position is under the current provincial offenses, or is this under the new one? The administration,
Well, the council has not adopted the administrative monetary penalty system. This bylaw is only necessary because the badge number changed.
or it's just to appoint.
Yeah, so nothing is changing in the current role of the bylaw officer.
Okay.
He got a new badge number assigned from the courts.
So it remains the same at the
Yeah.
provincial offenses,
Yes.
okay. All in favor? Carry. Next, we have a motion to rescind. Moved by Councillor Clark, second by Councillor Corbett. The council for the township of Bonfield recommends that motion number 18 of the regular council meeting held January 12, 2016, and motion number 17 of regular council meeting held September the 11th, 2018, be rescinded in their entirety. All in favor? Carries. Next, we have. You didn't mix them up too badly.
I tried my best.
Next, we have 2024-68 is to appoint an interim fire chief. Moved by Councillor Corbett, second by Councillor Clark. The council for the township of Bonfield hereby adopts bylaw 2024-68 to appoint an interim fire chief for the township of Bonfield as presented and is considered read 3 times and passed this 10th day of December 2024. All in favor? Carry. Next, we have bylaw 2024-65 to appoint a fire prevention officer. Moved by Councillor Clark, second by Councillor Corbett. The council for the township of Bonfield hereby adopts bylaw 2024-69 to appoint a fire prevention officer for the township of Bonfield as presented and is considered read 3 times and passed this 10th day of December 2024. All in favor? Carried. Next, we have bylaw 2024-65 to enter into an agreement with OPP.
Sorry, should be 70.
70.
Yeah,
Should be 70.
it's my mistake. It should be 70.
This one here?
It does, says,
Yep.
Oh, okay.
70.
yeah, it should say 70 there.
Change 7.
Yeah.
okay. Moved by Councillor McGinnis, second by Councillor Clark, that council for the township of Bonfield hereby adopts bylaw 2024-70 to enter into an agreement with OPP for 911 services for the township of Bonfield as presented and is considered read 3 times and passed this 10th day of December 2024. All in favor? Carried. Next, we have correspondence. We have a motion to accept the correspondence received, and I guess I should go through it. Moved by Councillor Corbett, second by Councillor McGinnis. The council receives the correspondence circulated with the agenda of December 10th, 2024. All in favor? So then we have the North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority Budget Book 2025. Next, we have the City of Toronto respecting local democracy and cities. Then we have the Township of Papineau Cameron on pre-approved affordable housing plans. And then we have the Nipissing Prairie Sound District Health Unit Provincial Oral Health Strategy. And then we have the 2025 Phenom registration. And we have the library minutes. And Province of Ontario offsetting OPP cost increases. But I think we got another letter today.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Okay. So I refer for supporting, you asked for support here.
I got a question or comment.
Okay.
Can we not ask Mattawa Conservation to give a summary instead of like a booklet every time?
Pages of
We could ask
Like,
Counselor.
Featherstone.
how many
Featherstone.
trees, how many trees do they kill?
More than they protect. I will be there tomorrow, Monday, and next Wednesday.
Just
So
don't bring us so much to read, Steve.
Well, I mean, a summary would be. would
Appreciated.
suffice. I mean.
well, I'm sure out of my 3 meetings in the next 7 days, I'll have time to bring that up.
Yeah, it's my only comment is about, you know, the mortgage. We're paying the mortgage for North Bay Conservation Authority's building. Like, is there anything in the legislation that says that they need to own a building or?
No, I believe that's still for the big building up by the ski hill. And they're still working on looking at maybe rehoming the ski company and property to North Bay. And it's just been
So
going,
this building is not their administrative building?
it is,
It is.
but it is mostly because of the ski resort, right?
Okay,
Their administration is a pretty small building,
Yeah.
like area of that building.
so I just find it difficult that, you know, municipalities have to pay for a mortgage from the authority that. And I believe on the last report, there were all kinds of repairs. There was a big furnace, there was all kinds of construction and repairs that had to go into the
Yeah,
building.
they've put in a ton of money into that tower,
Yeah.
into the observation deck, and yeah.
Yeah,
That was my
my
comment.
mind you. Oh.
Well, maybe it's better that they pay a mortgage than rent, because rent is pretty expensive too.
But rent will just go, right? And if something needs repaired, you call the landlord and say, this is broken, right? So. I don't
Out of
know.
all the things we can have a say on, it's probably not one of them.
No.
They can do for what they want on that.
So then we have the 2025 Phenom registration, and I strongly encourage all of council, of course, to go. It's in North Bay. And I think that staff should be able to attend something that would be interesting to them. And I know when I worked in the municipal offices in Elliott Lake, and the first time Phenom was held there, and I was a staff member, I got to go to Phenom as well. So I think if any of the staff would be interested, it would be nice for them to see as well the conferences and what happens there. So that's just my opinion. But when do we have to put our names in again for the
It's May.
Phenom?
Beginning of May.
It's
Soon.
May, so you can let us know by January.
Sure.
I think we're going to look on the staff side for the agenda so that
Yeah.
we know, so if it's just a 1-day registration for staff, then it can be different staff, so we can get as many staff as possible there based on the agenda.
An agenda would have appreciated
Yeah.
for us as well, or for me,
Right.
just so I
No, no.
could ensure that.
So as soon as they release an agenda, we can put it back on.
Yes,
The agenda.
I have a conflict. I have another conference that
Okay.
exact same time.
Mm.
So I
Okay.
can't go.
Yes, we
And
do.
then we have the offsetting OPP
Oh,
cost
no, you skipped libraries.
with the library. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I just want
Okay.
to.
You
always-
want to say
I
something?
do. I
Okay.
always like to give a shout out to the library. So we had our final meeting. I just want to highlight some of the things that they've done. The homeschool program, the staff there, Samantha, she's had 8 sessions from September to November with 102 people attending just in that very short time.
Wow.
So this program is an absolute hit. It's groundbreaking. It helps the homeschool kids socialize. So we're very excited about that. And then the library has also signed an agreement with Calvin. And so now we are taking on citizens and residents of Calvin. So
That's great.
yeah, I mean, they do a lot. They've got a Christmas craft program going on right now. So they just do such great work.
Are you gonna show us your craft?
Maybe after.
Thanks, Donna. And
Now the off.
I'm gonna leave G for now.
Fair, fair.
I wasn't supposed to read it because I tried 3 times. Okay, next we have nothing for question period, nothing for closed session. Next we have moved by Councillor Corbett, second by Councillor Clark. The Council for the Township of Bonfield hereby adopts bylaw 2024-64 to confirm the proceedings of council from November 19th, 2024 to December 10th, 2024, as presented and as considered read 3 times and passed this 10th day of December, 2024. All in favor? Okay.
47.
7.
7:47. You were efficient.
Well, I sure was. Next, we have the agenda or our resolution to close our meeting. Moved by Councillor Clark, second by Councillor Corbett, that this meeting be adjourned at 7:47 p.m. All in favor? Carried. And I'd like to thank everybody, the council and staff for our new fire people and everyone who's and Councillor Featherstone and everyone who's tuned in tonight. So I'd like to say have a good rest of the evening and adjourn the meeting. Thank you.